Hi guys. So it's like really disappointing because the betrayal is real these days. But it's okay. Like once you see past the circumstances, I'm almost thinking about something a monk dude, Monk, said about wisdom. But somebody was like, it's better to be happy than to be wise. I get it now why they said that, because like when you develop wisdom, you went through so much to get that or gain that wisdom. Sometimes you can gain wisdom by other people's mistakes, and that's how I got through a lot of stuff, because I paid attention to what happened in other people's lives and the choices they made and the consequences that followed thereafter, and then I realized that's something that I didn't want to happen to me. So that's why I was always hanging out with older people, because I wanted to learn in life like what not to do and what to do. But and it's funny because some of the time it was people that were older, behaving very immaturely when it came to certain things, and that's when I started to learn that just because someone was older didn't necessarily mean that they were more wise, or more mature, unfortunately. I'm not saying all people are like that, but I just wanted to say, now that I got my storage figured out in my phone, um, yeah, I can make a longer video. I had a part one and a part two of this video, but it was basically me talking about how I have an idea that um, the person I had a personal reading was correct about my attorney, not my attorney, my excuse me, my therapist being uncomfortable with some of the things I was telling him. He was unable to handle it. I had to let somebody know. I mean, what they telling me, CPS be wanting me to have a family plan and want me to have support from someone. He's a professional. He should be able to take it. Therapists go to therapy too. So if that's your profession, why are you, because you are uncomfortable and can't handle it, now you're trying to make things hard for me? That's almost telling me that you know something about some of the stuff I'm telling you, because I remember I told him he didn't like what I'm getting now is that he didn't appreciate and like the fact that I was able to observe him because I was his client, but here I am as his client telling him about some things that I find about his behaviors, and he didn't like that. And I understand it, but I'm like, you over here trying to tell me I'm psychotic, and I'm experiencing some psychosis just because I told you I didn't sleep very well in the last 2 days. That was only 2 days. And last time when I went to the psychiatric hospital because somebody called the police to have me put in there, the people who were involved were part of the reason why I was being psychotic, because of the harassment that I was going through. I was losing sleep. I was worried. I was stressed out because I was like, there's no way that this stuff is happening to me. But what the people following me with bags that are empty that had store symbols on it. And then there's someone trying to text me now. People is retrograde. I'm not going back to anybody. And it's funny because that one's actually a woman. That's the funny part. I'm like, you guys are not getting to me in any way, shape, or form at all. So, anyways, they had now, like, based off the allegations that were alleged against me, why my old CPS caseworker want to do a case on me now is because of my therapist, or someone that was at his firm where he was doing an internship at, instructed him and guided him to make a call because of alleged concern of for my son's safety. I can't stand when people do that. It's so sickening to my stomach. It's sickening to my core to like see how people are manipulative, and then they try to use laws. They want you to learn about law so you can protect yourself, but the same people who would tell you to learn laws to protect yourself, to act like they care about your safety, are some of the same individuals that's abusing certain laws to get their way. And I even told my lawyer that I think it was my therapist or someone at his firm who had something to do with it. Because why would it be a CPS worker unless she was like the one I was working with? Why would it be one of those individuals unless they were watching me illegally or and then made a report? Even the other individuals from like Self Enhancement Inc. They were gang stalking me too, because I at one point I was told that I can come there to receive $100 gift card for attending a meeting. Then when I get there, as soon as I get all up the stairs, I rush after work. They told me I could come after work because it started before I got off work, like 30 minutes prior, they said I could still come, or like 15 minutes prior, 15 or 30 minutes prior to me showing up, they said I could still come. And at that time, that $100 would have been very helpful, but I chalked it up and, kept it pushing. Um, but anyways, the lady came running out of the room. She was like, "Oh, no, no, no! Are you here for the meeting?" No, no, no. She stopped me from coming in there. I think, looking back on it, I think she just didn't want, because she was in the group chat when I was talking to them, and nobody was responding back to me. And it's funny because my lawyer said SEI and all these other organizations was in your life helping you, right? But they don't know that some people, just because the organization itself is there to help, that they have some people that are at some of these organizations that behave as gatekeepers. And that's the thing that people should speak out more about, so that it can become more of an awareness about these type of things happening, so people like ourselves don't sound like we're crazy, so people can know that this does happen out here, that people gatekeep even in their professional capacity. So to be careful of that. And then basically the personal read I had got said that my therapist felt uncomfortable about what they had him do, so he resigned. But instead of them saying that he resigned, he told me all of a sudden at the end of our session that he was going to be resigning that his intern, he said, "You know that I'm an intern, as you know that I'm an intern, and my internship is complete, and we'll be ending on the 19th of this month, which is April 19th." And so I realized that at that moment, after him trying to insinuate that he felt that I was psychotic, it felt like someone was in his ear as well. That there was like the people he go talk to, but what him and I talked about are supposed to be confidential. So if he went to talk, it should still be kept between him and I. But he has a supervisor, and I feel like the supervisor that might have something against me or whatever, because he goes back and he tells them things that I said, and he said, "We all here care about you. How are you all there caring about me?" And then you refer me to, like, they all of a sudden, after I reached back out to them when my um therapist told me to reach out to my supervisor and update her on my police report that I made. I wouldn't be surprised if her punk ass went and spoke to police department, or she knows somebody to pull some strings. And I know that sounds like too much, but people really go that far to great lengths to try to stop and block someone to make them have some sort of stress or drama in their life, or some hardships that are unnecessary. Like, I'm saying these stories so people can realize and know that these things do happen, and I'm willing to sit here and look like the fool based off everything I went through. This ain't shit compared to a lot of things I've gone through and overcome in the past. This is nothing. So even though it's a setback, it's sort of an inconvenience, not a setback, but it's like an inconvenience, but I will get through it. And it was just crazy, because why did I have to tell a supervisor about me making a police report? And then I noticed after that they decide to dismiss me because they're allegedly not having any more therapists at their firm, so they sent me to Cascadia. Then when I called Cascadia, this cocky arrogant fucker answered the phone, and he was like, well, currently we're not accepting any new patients here. Like, he was being, like, he felt like he got pleasure out of being able to tell me, they're like, "You're gonna have to take your ass somewhere else." Well, fuck you too, Cascadia, pieces of crap. I can go to one of these other companies online that I've been seeing, kind of like BetterHelp and some other company, to get someone, a therapist, just to appease these people if they're telling me that I still need to go to counseling. But then look at what happened. I'm trusting my therapist, and then he's going back talking to other people at this firm, and they're instructing him on things to do. These people know well deep information about me, my life. So I'm sharing this for you guys to be very careful. Like, if your intuition is telling you something is off, that's why on the commercial, a woman was saying on that BetterHelp commercial that she had to go like through two or three other people before she found the right fit that felt like a person she could trust, that she loved, that she could feel free and open with, because everybody's not a good fit, and sometimes their vibes pick up on somebody not being trustworthy or somebody judging them. And that's what I picked up on and experienced with my therapist. And he's an intern, he's new. So he hasn't even been doing this for decades or for a few years. He a new graduate or whatever. And he's very, like, he even was saying something about me, the way I so astutely said some statement that I present it to him, and it's almost like he took offense because he knows that I have some sort of intelligence, and I feel like he kind of gotten offended by me saying that I wanted to, not offended, but you know how people get jealous or envious, they want to block you because they it's like I feel like he knows that I would be excellent at what I'm doing. And I'm not trying to say that this is what it is, but he started acting that kind of way, like you know how women do, like when they're jealous of a woman, like, and he was wearing a wedding ring. But you know how you can tell when people probably, they might swing to the other side, like they like men, like they're queer, but they're trying to hide it, or they don't want you to necessarily know. It's so easy to see, especially myself, people that have been bisexual or dealt with people, even if you haven't. There's people out here you can clearly see through people and tell that they're queer, even if they're trying to hide it. So um, I just wanted to share this with you guys to bring some awareness to the fact that to be careful, because there's people in professional positions that are still working against you. I've experienced it most of my life. Like I was supposed to be promoted to assistant manager as a leasing agent, and then they did some foul play to act like they were getting ready to send me to a phone etiquette class when people were pleased with the way I spoke to them over the phone. That's why I knew some BS was coming, and then they fired me instead of promoting me to assistant manager, or whatever level I was supposed to be promoted. The next one was assistant manager, and I was only working there for 3 months, and I had learned so much in such a short amount of time, and people were thinking that I was the manager. My manager Amy Monroe at the time got offended because someone had put their hand in her face, like, I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to the manager. They thought I was the manager because, and that ticked that lady off. She probably moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico with her husband to get up out of this state. But I don't think so, because one time I saw her car, and it was only her who had that particular paint job on that particular Honda Civic model of car. And I seen it back when I was being gang stalked when I left my mom's house. How happened I seen that car riding down the street? But that's another note. I ain't trying to sound too crazy now, y'all, but I peeped that out. And so I do think in my mind that some of the people at my jobs had a lot to do, had a big part or a hand in the a hand that they played in the gang stalking me, because of things that happened, and then people I saw, and then certain things that happened at other jobs after of three ladies got fired because them calling a guy I was dating a wigger because he was white but he act like he was black. And them doing foul play, like taking money out of my checks, and they got fired because I could have sued Labor Ready for that in Tiger, but I didn't do it. And it's a few companies that I could have sued and got big money, but I didn't do it at the time. And big part of it was my confidence and feeling like I was alone and like no one would help me. But now that's why now I speak out about certain things and I do not care. So please have a good day.